Hi everyone, and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are back on a Friday night and not a Tuesday, which was the last one we did, which kind of threw everyone up in the air in terms of doing a Club Live on a Tuesday. Before I introduce my guests tonight, first of all, Scott would like to pass on his thanks for the messages of support he's had over the last few weeks there. He'll be back in the podcast soon, so don't worry, he will be back. But yeah, he passes on his thanks to everyone and all the kind messages to him. But yes, let's dive into the world of Rangers. I know most of us don't really want to at this point, but we need to do it. We're here. And we've got a few faces back. Ryan Haymarch, you're back for the second pod in the trot. You're obviously looking for some money for your next holiday.
Just looking for a holiday, Ali, that's all it is. No interest in the money, it's just a bit of holiday, if you know me. I've not seen you since you turned up late to my birthday celebrations and left early, by the way. But we'll speak about that when I see you. Aye, good to be on, boys. Good to be on. And aye, let's discuss all things Rangers. I was looking forward to the pod on Friday until the kind of news broke kind of late yesterday afternoon about what we're going to speak about the stadium and whatever. But I was looking forward to things, and then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. This is what Rangers do to you, but this is why we're here to speak about it, and we're all hooked on it. So I'm sure it'll be a good pod tonight.
Yep, and we've got another man on tonight who has not been seen since the end of the season. Most folk probably thought that was the end of him after watching Rangers last season. But Jamie, good to have you on tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. It's just shy of a month since I've been on, but kindly gifted me some of his holiday allowance. So I've been away on holiday, jetting around the world, as Mr. Haymarch likes to do, as he showed me how to do. So now I'm back, boys, and I'm ready to talk about Rangers. I'm not really over enthused about some of the subjects that we're going to talk about, but let's go for it. There's tons for us to talk about. So
yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, me and Ryan, we done with Nicky, I think it was, we done Club Live last time, and it was basically going through players we've been linked with and players we're signing, etc. And we thought tonight would be the exact same. We'd be linked with players, which we will talk about. But yes, there is a big elephant in the room in terms of an agenda of what to talk to. It's been in the news for the past 24 hours. Obviously, we all know Rangers Ibrox is out of action for pre-season. That is why we're playing Man United at Murrayfield coming up the 20th or 21st of July. So we're doing that. We all knew that they were doing the works in the Copeland Road stand, and our first game back would have been probably the second league game of the season, or Europe, I think, round about then. But news broke yesterday that the Copeland Road stand will not be ready in time. It's due to some steel, I think, they're getting from the Far East, which has delayed the project. I think somebody's been fired. I think it's the project manager, possibly. But yes, Rangers are looking for other solutions now in terms of what to do going forward. It's a bit of a farce. Potential solutions that they're looking at are potentially playing at Ibrox with the three stands, but the only thing they've got is a big, massive crane. If you've looked at Ibrox at the moment on the pitch, so that would need to get looked at. So that, to me, that looks like a no-go. Hampden, which we thought was a no-go, apparently today could be a go for Rangers because Hampden have said they could have that park. What the pitch will be like, I don't know, because there's lots of concerts on it. And the last one is Murrayfield through in Edinburgh. So, Mr. Haymarch, take the floor. What is your opinions on this? It could only be Rangers, couldn't it?
Does this count as your first wee snippet of negativity for the season? Not quite. Like you could crack a million jokes about this, Ali. You could crack a million jokes about, is this our first injury of the season, the stadium? Could you play the season with a crane as a centre half? There's so many things you could have a joke and laugh about this, but it's so annoying. I think first and foremost, it's for the fans that annoys me because we've suffered more than any other fans in world football, in my opinion, because we went down the divisions. Think gripe about it wasn't our fault. That's mismanagement by the club and the previous owners, and we suffered for it. It was the fans that suffered for it. Then COVID happened. That happened to everyone. So I understand it's not just Rangers fans, but we get locked out. We paid our way full price, didn't get back for it. Understand Rangers in a business, but we suffered. And again, we seem to suffer for this. And it's annoying. It annoys me, Ali. It annoys the statement. Annoyed me because clearly the statement was, we were talking about it before we come on, the statement was typed up in probably about 7 seconds. They've clearly been told, the press, we're going to break this. And somebody's been told, quick, put a statement out and press the return key as quick as you can. Because the statement was just rapid, boom, a paragraph will let you know what's happening. And it's frustrating because it is the fans that suffer. I understand there'll be fans out there who will back the club and these things can't be helped. They can, because we always knew we were going to be doing this in the summer. So why did we not order the materials and have them stored somewhere? We surely can afford to have them stored off-site somewhere. And I'm understanding is it's steel. So surely if it's reinforced steel, whatever it is, surely we could have got that stored elsewhere to make sure that this deadline's met. But you don't know the ins and outs, so it's hard to kind of pass comment and judge. But it's just so frustrating for all the fans that go to the games, and a bit frustrating for the team as well. I think Clement will be absolutely fuming about this because he is all about synergy. This is his clean slate, if you want to call it that. He's just starting the new season, Ali, and we are going to be playing at Rugby Ground or Hampden or potentially a 70% full stadium. It just off to a flyer is probably how you'll sum it up. And again, just to touch on it, I understand these things happen, but Emerson House didn't meet its target date at its deadline. It was over budget. This bar that we're building at the corner isn't meeting its target. It was supposed to be opening beginning of the year, I think it was. It's not open yet. The Watersmith statue seemed to go on and on and on. It just seems to be that side of the club has not been run properly, in my opinion. Nobody is putting their foot down on the deadlines. Nobody's managing it correctly. And I get somebody's heads rolled, but that doesn't take away the fact that we are, as fans, are suffering. And that's the most annoying thing. But yeah, we'll see where we go with it. But it's just so frustrating to know you're going to start the season not at home.
Yeah, Jamie, it's a sore one as fans to take. Obviously, we knew Ibrox was out of action. We were all looking forward to getting back to. It would have been either been a European tie or the second league game of the season would be going to Ibrox. But I mean, they're saying. I mean, Rangers haven't really come out. They've come out with a paragraph to say what's happened, but they've not come out. John Bennett should be coming out and addressing the fans and telling what is going to happen. I mean, I know in the industry I work in terms of importing materials, whoever they're getting it from, there could be a date on that, but that could be delayed again. So there could be further delays on this. This could be a complete shambles. But yeah, what's your initial reactions on it, Jamie?
Well, to back up what Ryan said, obviously it's the fans that suffer most. You know what it's like after a long, hard season when hopes have been high and the season kind of comes to a bit of a whimper, and we've just won the League Cup, and you go through the summer and you get excited to come back to Ibrox and get back to your seat and see the team play. I just think this news is a total kick in the balls to the fans, and especially because the sheer miscommunication by the board and by Bennett. We chatted off camera there, boys. It's not a new thing either. I actually think in terms of Bisgrove in his role, he was actually better at communicating with the fans. I think on the footballing side, he sort of lacked. But for him not to come out over such a huge thing, as Ryan said, they had months of planning. So there's got to be some form of contingency plan if this goes wrong. So I just think it's just a total shambles, and it's not the type of thing we want to be going into a new season. And it's obviously still up in arms who we're going to play. Like Murrayfield, if it's Murrayfield, they're obviously not going to recompense the fans. It's an extra travel cost. Are you going to get a train? Are you going to drive? You're going through Edinburgh for home games. It's ridiculous. Hampden as well. I mean, I didn't know that news that you talked about, Ali, but from what I heard yesterday, they were saying that Hampden was getting relayed and things. It wasn't going to be ready until the first week in September, which I think is a Scotland friendly or something. So, look, if you had to choose, I mean, for us, for where we stay geographically, Hampden's going to be the better option. I just think there's going to be so many fans out of pocket if we've got to travel to Murrayfield And the thing about it is, fine well, the club aren't going to recompense the fans at all. And that's what I mean. The board are out of touch with the fans big time. And if this happens, you'll see that the proof will be in the pudding right there. But I just think, just total shambles. And it's one of these ones you don't really know where it's going to go. But the club need to clear it up as soon as possible, I think.
Yeah, Ryan, Jamie makes a good point in terms of compensating the fans. I had a laugh at work with Stuart work today in terms of Rangers have our money. They have our money. And we all know how Rangers operate in terms of through the years. You don't get much for your season ticket. You get your league games. I know Celtic, speaking to folk that I know folk that I know that are Celtic supporters that have season tickets, they get the odds first European tie now and again for free, etc. We get the bare minimum with Rangers. If this goes to, well, it looks like it's going to go to another stadium. We're going to have to go to another stadium, Ryan. I don't see Rangers doing anything for the fans. I would like to see them do something in terms of a gesture. I don't know what that is. But are you along with the lines of me in terms of they'll just pick one of these stadiums and it's up to us how we get there, basically.
That is exactly how it will be. And it could be, I don't know, they could play it at Wembley and just make your way down there. Rangers aren't different to any other club in terms of the fans are the cash cow. The fans are what it's a business, as I keep saying. At the end of the day, Rangers can be particularly poor at it at times, but they are better than they used to be. But you won't get compensation for this. You've paid for a ticket to see Rangers play 18 home league games, and you'll get your ticket, but it might not be at Ibrox. It might be wherever they say it is, and that's up to you to make your way. I think you can forget about compensation. I don't think it's right. My compensation, I would like to see every one of the board members and the management team, not management team in terms of Cologne, I mean the management at Ibrox. I would like them to say, do you know what, see our tickets for the cup final or the next cup final or the next semi-final, they'll get in the ballot instead of my year's members complete. I know it'll only be about 30, 40 tickets, but I would like that as a gesture because the fact that they just walks in and get how many tickets they want always sticks in my teeth, Ali. Now, you'll not get any compensation for this. I think there's a couple of points we made in the chat that Hampden might not be ready. I was at Hampden on Monday night to see the Foo Fighters, and I wouldn't imagine about a football game played in it for a few weeks. And if it's got another couple of gigs, I know there's a gig there next week. I know a couple of people are going to. So if Hampden's getting used for gigs, Ali, I don't imagine that pitch will be ready. I don't know how quickly they turn it round for us to play there. So you've run out of options here. And if it's Murrayfield, I'm not too overly keen on it being Murrayfield, Ali. It's not my choice of stadiums or journeys either to go through there. I'm one of these fans that'll put me off, and you can call me, you can target me for how non-staunch I'm or but I won't really fancy that on a Wednesday night travelling through there, Ali. I'll be honest with you. So I'll be interested to see what Rangers come up with, but they've got to come up with a plan fast because there's fans travel from Ireland and England and all elsewhere. So they need to come up with something fast because the fans have paid their money and they want to know where they're going for travel arrangements.
Yeah, I mean, Murrayfield, I'm actually quite looking forward to going to Murrayfield for the pre-season because it's a bit of a day out. You're going through Edinburgh, it's a bit different. Do I want to go to Murrayfield for Rangers' first 4 or 5 home games of the season? No.
Aye, Ali. You're looking forward to going to Murrayfield for a day out, but the worst part of your day is having to go to Murrayfield.
I know. Twin Rangers. No, I know. I'll be bevied, so I'll be all right. But yeah, it's a complete. If Murrayfield was on it's up for grabs, and that's where we end up. It's a complete inconvenience, and I mean, not even just to myself, to all the boys that come from Belfast, just your guys that like myself and Carney and Jamie, and that we like meeting in the Paisley Road for a pint and going to Ibrox.
Exactly.
I mean, we can't really probably do that going to Murrayfield. Hampden's probably the only realistic one. Pink, I've seen the comments here. Pink plays in Hampden. I can't believe we're talking about this in the Rangers podcast. But Pink plays at Hampden on the 29th. It sounds like football teams are talking about here.
You're going to that, Ali. You've been looking forward to that. You said to me.
Front row. You're front row for that, mate, aren't you?
I've got the pink cowboy hat in the background there and everything. I'm ready for it. But no, apparently in the comments, Pink plays there. Apparently, like, as Jamie was saying earlier on, Queen's Park or something, they were told it'll be ready, something about the first week of September. But apparently they've come out and said today, which I've heard in Heart and Hand listening to me back in the car, that they might be able to turn the pitch around. The only thing I would say, Jamie, if it goes to Hampden and they manage to do it, we might have to play potentially. And the fixtures come out next weekend, next Friday, which we will discuss at the end of this. But we might have to play potentially 3 away games or something. If it was Hampden, I'm saying 3 away games first before we go to Hampden potentially. I know Europe's in there as well, but if we're having to play away games to start off, it's not what we want to try and kickstart Columbus Rain in terms of being at Rangers.
As Ryan said, like Clement will be fuming about this because he needs that home advantage. So if it's as many as 3-4 away games before we actually play a home game, and the home game isn't actually a home game, do you know what I mean? So it's just that's the thing that we sort of talk about as Rangers fans, is Ibrox being a fortress, especially when you've had a whole summer away and you want to get back in and you want to make it raucous. So I'm really, really hoping they're going to sort it out. I mean, I'm 14 minutes walk to my seat from my gaff, so Murrayfield is going to be a proper pain in the arse. And even Hampden as well. Hampden's not the easiest stadium to get to. No. Honestly, I would like less, like the 2 games probably per season we play at Hampden. That's too much for me. I just, like, as a stadium, I can't stick it. It's murder. Aye. So it's like, what's the lesser of 2 evils? What do you pick? Like, who knows? So I think we'll just need to wait and see.
Do you know? Happens. See you saying that about Hampden, Jamie. That's as I said, I was at Foo Fighters there on Monday, and that's the first time I've ever been in the Celtic end. Believe it or not, I've always been the Rangers end. But even like when we played Hearts years ago, with most of the stadium or Aberdeen, whatever, I was always in the Rangers end. And that Celtic end is an absolute bin fire to get into. It's all, I don't know if you have been, but it's all caged outside, so you've got to get right round and back out.
Yeah,
I went to see Liam Gallagher 2 years ago, and I still stood in the West Stand side. I'm not going near that side, man. It smells up there. So
I had to. You couldn't. You weren't allowed to get in the Rangers end with your ticket, even though you were standing. Right. It's madness. But anyway, I'm glad we're covering the music subject, guys. This is good. This is
yeah. Oh yeah. This is what we need. We need more subjects just to kind of feed in there. Do you know what I mean? So
that's it.
Yeah.
What's in the top 40 at the moment? Should we chat music for that?
Aye. Is Wigfield still in there?
I don't use that rhyme. Rangers and Tours actually put a good comment on, and I discussed this at work today with Stu at my work. And if you look at Ibrox, people pay certain prices for where they sit in Ibrox for better views, if you want to say, and they pay a lot more money than other areas of the park. If they do go to somewhere like Hampden, which is an absolute bloody nightmare to see anything there, how do they even designate who sits where on the ground? Because if you've got a guy, I'm just going to use myself for example, down the front of Club Deck, where I'm paying £865, I think it was, to a guy maybe in the Broomlow in front. I don't know what the Broomlow in front is. I'm going to guess £550. How do they do that in terms of? Well, it's just an absolute bollock, I think.
I'm BF3 and I'm 565 a season, right. and it's went up by £15. But I was thinking about that today. Like, how do they even begin that? Like, and what's the capacity of Hampden? Is it 55?
52, is it?
Is it? So, I mean, the thing about it is, like, if it's at Hampden, you know fine well the board and the commercial department will be looking to sell more tickets. And do you know what I mean? And cash in on the fact that they're at Hampden. They'll be putting public sale tickets up as well. So, no, I'm really hoping. I mean, it's, as I say there, it's a lesser of 2 evils, but it's really not ideal going into the new season, because you want Ibrox as a home advantage. And even as well, like the Champions League qualifiers, and whenever we played in Europe, like at that early point, the players need every person in that stadium, by the way, because it's going to be a brand new squad too. So many mitigating factors at the moment. So the sooner it's cleared up, the better.
Yeah, strap yourself in. We'll see what's happening. I've just seen a comment there from our pal Ryan Blue Nose John. Scotia, I know he's not in Germany. He has made it back to this country successfully. He did phone Ryan from Germany to wish him a happy birthday on Saturday, which was nice of him. But yes, he has made it back safely, Scotia, and no, he's not in Germany at the moment. So.
I would say, Ali, I would go as far to say that he made a bigger appearance at my birthday celebrations than you did, but that's another subject.
Yes, I won't take the blame for leaving early. I will blame that on my missus. She wanted to go home. So, yes, it was a good night, though. It was a good night. But yes, moving on to more positive things, if I wanted to say. We have signed a new player. We have signed, we've been linked to him for probably since January, to be honest. We have signed Conor Baron from Aberdeen, which will really upset them up there. He signed a four-year deal, central midfielder, 21 years of age, in the league for Aberdeen last season. This is going by Wikipedia or whatever. He's played 29 games in the league, scored 1 goal and assisted 3 times. Ryan, you've been banging the drum in here for God knows how long. Lewis Ferguson was the one who has now got away from us. We should be looking at young Scottish talent in the Scottish League. I'd assume you're quite happy with the signing of Conor Baron?
Yeah, Ali, this is one. I mean, he might not prove the best signing out of what we've made so far, but this is the one that excites me the most as it stands, because we've turned our nose at this market far too much, and it goes back for years. And I don't mind saying it goes back as far as Scott Brown, where I think we missed out not signing him. And this needs to be our, dare I say it, Scott Brown type of signing, where Conor Baron needs to be looking at a long period, 5-10 years at Rangers, where he is a stalemate in that midfield. He's constantly there. And that's what I'm hoping it is. He's a good young player. I've not seen a lot of him. I've probably seen more of Lennon Miller than I've seen a Conor Baron, but of what I've seen, he's a good young player. I don't worry that if he was thrown straight in, I don't worry that he wouldn't be able to handle it. I think he's got a lot of potential, but he's got a lot of development to do as well. A kind of typical signing, but come on, at the moment, we look as if we're just dipping into this under-23 market and absolutely raiding it at the moment. But he's Scottish. He knows what's required here, Ali. It doesn't matter where your allegiance lies or whatever you are or where you've came from. When you play in Scotland, you know what's required. Dare I say a Wednesday night at Dingwall, or you know what's needed. Yeah, it's blood and thunder sometimes when you're playing Scottish football. So nothing will surprise that young lad. He won't be taken aback by any ground he goes to, any support, anything that happens in a Rangers shirt. He'll know exactly what's coming. And that's, I always say, mentality is everything in that boy. I would imagine will have the mentality to play for Rangers more than you might see the likes of Koulibaly or somebody coming from abroad and trying to settle here. So it's a very good signing that we've got in the door. Not going to say he's going to hit the ground running or going to be a first team starter straight away. I don't know how it'll work, but for me, he's got to be that long term signing where Conor Baron's the future of that Rangers midfield, and I hope he's not the last one. Obviously, I mentioned Lennon Miller. I'm hoping that doesn't put an end to that one, but I'm hoping he's not the last Scottish player that we sign, Ali, because there's talent out there, and any successful Rangers team has always had some sort of Scottish backbone to it, and we need to get on top of that.
Yeah, Jamie, I like the signing. I know we'll talk in other signings, but he's young, he's Scottish, he knows the league, which I think is a bonus. I mean, we talked last Tuesday on the podcast in terms of we're going to be letting go of a lot of players and hopefully selling a lot of players, and we need guys that are going to be good squad players, guys that you can bring in as well. Conor Baron, I don't think he'll come here with the mentality of I'll sit on the bench and maybe get the odd game. I think he'll come and want to push for a first team position.
Yeah.
I like that he's Scottish, and I agree with Ryan. I mean, Ryan has banged the drum in this podcast for ages about these players in Scotland. We've been bit a few times with players we've bought that haven't probably worked out. But I mean, there'll be compensation with Aberdeen, which will be agreed, obviously. But I think it's a good signing, and it's a no lose for me with him. If it doesn't work out, you'll be able to move him on. But I think the boy will do well for Rangers.
Aye, it was the Lewis Ferguson debate, wasn't it? Because everyone was up in arms when we didn't sign him, and then obviously he's been on to Bologna, and he's on fire, isn't he? In fact, Scotland could be doing with him in the Euros at the moment. But Baron, I think he's brilliant. I think he's really, really good. Like, so I watched him in that semi against Celtic, the 3-3 game. Honestly, he just harassed Hatate the whole time. He's a proper ball winner, but also can dictate play in the middle of the park. So I don't think he's not going to be coming in thinking he's going to be sitting on the bench. He's going to be, you're quite right, Ali, he's going to be coming in wanting to get a place in the starting 11. Just having young, hungry Scottish players as well. I'm right on board with Ryan. We need to sign more of them, I think. I think Lenon Miller's a great player. I think the only sticking point will be that I think he's maybe got 2 years left in his contract, and Motherwell will be looking for a fair wad of cash for him. I think there was obviously a development fee or something that Rangers have got to pay for Conor Baron, but it's going to be minimal, isn't it? But I think in the long run, I think he's going to be a brilliant player for us, and there's proof there that he can do it in this league. And as Ryan says, he's able to go to Dingwall on a Sunday afternoon, or Dundee on a Wednesday night. The two games that let us down that we could have been doing with a player with a bit of dig. And we were obviously talking in the chat on WhatsApp the other night about the importance of having a number 6, a good number 6, a kind of Stephen Davis type. I don't think he is quite the Stephen Davis type. I'm not sure he's as good on the ball, but he's got that real sense of dig about him too. So no, I'm excited about Baron. I think he's going to be a good player for us.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've only seen him when he's really played against us. I did see him in that semi. You're talking about, Jamie. I thought he was decent. But yeah, I just think boys like that we can get for next to nothing. If you want to say we're not really paying much of a fee, if we can't come to an agreement with Aberdeen, it'll go to a tribunal, but it won't be that much. I just think we should be looking closer at home at some of these players, because he's a guy he's been in the Aberdeen squad for a while now, a couple of seasons, and he's done it for them. So it's a no-brainer for me. Lenon Miller one for me, right? I'd be all over that, looking at that boy. He looks at 17 years of age. He doesn't look 17. I remember watching him against Celtic, I think it was. I think Celtic, I think they won in the last minute of that game, but he looked very good. He looked technically good in the ball, physical as well. So interesting. I'd be surprised if us or Celtic didn't have a punt in him going forward. But we have to look in the Scottish market going forward, because there is the odd gem in there.
I think
Right.
Blue Nose John makes a good point about Conor Baron. He's aggressive. Like, of what I've seen him from, I told you I've not seen loads of him. I've seen more of Lenon Miller, but what I've seen him, he is aggressive, and that is something we have missed. Like, if you kind of look at the Old Firm games, we definitely lack aggression and hunger, whether we want to get through the team or not. But we definitely lack that, and I think if you look at the likes of John Lundstrom's been out the door, and I'm not saying Conor Baron is better than John Lundstrom or whatever, but in terms of aggression, fitness as well, Lundstrom was towing a caravan in Old Firm games at times. We'll just pass the ball round him, and Conor Baron wouldn't worry me the way John Lundstrom worries me in Old Firm games. So I think it's definitely a positive sign, Ali. I think the aggression is a big thing. It's a good point for Blue Nose John there. Yeah,
no, 100%. We're crying out for energy and legs in the middle of the park, and I think that's what he's identified. So yeah, no, it'll be good to see him, hopefully in pre-season. But before we get on to the rest of it, it is my favourite time of the night. It is the Manscaped promo. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with an exclusive offer. Get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code CLUB@22. Summertime and the trimming is easy. The Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Inside this package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their fifth generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smoother whenever your heart desires. It features dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, 3-length setting combs, and it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower as well. Now that you have the perfect haircut, use Manscaped's liquid formulations to keep that freshness. The Crop Soother, Aftershave Lotion, and Crop Preserver Deodorant. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for the Performance Package 5.0, the Manscaped Boxers, which I currently have on at the moment, and the Shed Travel Bag. Also, Manscaped's new Buff Bundle is all you need to keep the summer heat a breeze. This bundle includes the signature silicone scrubber and body wash. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBIT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBIT22 at manscaped.com. It's smooth sack, summer boys. Get on board or get left behind.
You still taking requests, Ali, but in your DMs for a picture of you with the Manscaped boxers on?
Nah.
No bother with that now, nah.
Scotia's the one that does that. Scotia wears his Manscaped boxers every day.
I heard the next live show, Ali's going to burst onto stage, but nothing but his Manscaped boxers on. That's what's happening. I've actually got mine on at the moment, by the way. Brilliant. And I'm not just saying that. Get them.
They're top drawers.
Oh, you've been waiting to pull that one out for a while.
And if you're watching this, Manscaped,
Very
I do
well
not
done.
mind a wee renegotiation with my terms, a wee wage rise. We go.
That was a good one. I like that.
You can have that, Ali. You can use that. Next pod I'm on, you use that for yourself.
I'll use it when I'm out and about. Don't worry, that's a good one. But yes, thank you to Manscaped as always. But yeah, moving on, which we probably thought we were going to talk about tonight before the news of the fiasco at Ibrox with the Copeland. But yes, we've been linked with a few more players. We've already signed so far Hefty, Cortez, Enciala signed, and the next guy that it looks like is going to be coming in, obviously Conor Baron as well, but the next guy that looks like he's going to be coming in, Hamza Ali, in a 1.5 million deal. He's Moroccan, 21 years of age. So I think all these guys must be 21. That's obviously what we're looking for. He's a striker, but can also play both sides as well, so he can play in all 3 positions, the top end of the park. Plays for, I don't know how you pronounce him, is it AS FAR in Morocco? He's played in the league 20 games, scored 7 goals and 6 assists. Jamie, I suppose you know all about this guy. You've been watching him for the last couple of years, and you can tell us everything about this guy and what to expect.
Oh no, that's what I do in my downtime. I watch the Moroccan league. It's my second favourite league next to the SPL. No, I don't know a massive amount about him. I mean, I've done the usual, boys. I've went on YouTube. I've watched the compilation. I fell in love. He's gonna be the Moroccan Alfredo Morelos. The thing is, I think it's good to see he's bringing these young players in. We're shopping in a different market now. I think Coppin seems to know what he's doing, but as always, the proof's going to be in the pudding when he steps on a pitch and bags a few goals for us. But the one thing I will say is he seems to have a good range of finishing, and the stuff that I've seen him, he looks at quite a powerful striker as well. Holds the ball up well, so I think, as I say, we'll just need to wait and see what he's like. But it's good that we're shopping in this market, and we're not going for the usual late 20s, early 30s that you're not going to get any return on. So that's what it is. Like, if you're buying these players in at 1.5 million, it might even be that you sell them on 4 or 5. You make a small profit, you might make a big profit, but there's obviously a clear structure in place now in terms of buying these young guys in, which is I think is refreshing to see. So let's wait and see how he turns up.
Yeah, Ryan, it'd be good if Carney was in the pod tonight, because Carney plays Championship manager, and he could probably tell us exactly how good this guy is, because a lot of these guys were signing outside, obviously, Conor Baron and Cortez that we've seen. Guys we've never heard of, to be honest, which doesn't mean they're bad players or anything, but they're we are shopping in different markets, which we have said we need to try and do. But yeah, well, what's your thoughts on this boy coming in? Like I said, in terms of the profile, he's another 21-year-old.
Aye, it's clear. It's clear the market that we're shopping in. It's whether it's under 23 World Cup or whatever it is. He is copping. You can tell he's got a list of these players who he believes will be a success, and the Rangers will be able to sell on. And I am all for it. If they're young, hungry players and they want to come here and get that big move to the Premier League, because we all know that's where they want to go, and you come, use us as your stepping stone. We're more than happy for us to use your stepping stone, because if you do go to the Premier League, we'll rake it in, and you'll have been a success here. So I'd imagine some of these players won't be successes. Not every player's going to make it here, but that we are definitely shopping a different market here, Ali. There's no doubt about it. I still want to see experienced players coming in. I still think we will see that. The Scottish market, I still want us to dip into that as well, but this is completely different where we're going at the moment. The boy Garcia that we were getting linked to last week, it was supposed to be close, and I don't know if he signed a new deal, but he was an under-23 Uruguayan World Cup winner or something like that. So it sounds like Coppin's probably been a scout mission to the under-23 World Cup. He's got a list of players who he thinks have got great potential and will fit our new model. So I'm excited. It does excite me because they're getting them through the door quickly as well. It's a conveyor belt at the moment. I mean, what's that? Is that 5 signings you rattled off there? Cortez, I know. It does count, but we've signed a lot of players for me before. Well, it's still June. So I'm quite happy with the business we've done so far. There's plenty more to do. We need to get players out the door, but we're definitely in a different market here, Ali, and we've been crying out for it. Instead of get out of that championship and pulling players up that showed potential 3 years ago when they played with Man United under 21. We had to move away from that market, and yeah, I'm excited to see how these boys go on. In terms of this guy, I don't know anything about him. I'd be lying if I said I'd heard of him. But if he's an internationalist at his age group, then he's obviously shown potential at some point. He's been given a great platform if he comes to Rangers. I mean, at that age, to come from abroad and play for Rangers is a huge opportunity for him. So let's hope he sees it that way and he hits the ground running. But I'm excited, Ali. It's something different, and I think it looks as if we're shaping up to play a completely different way as well. I think Clement set us up with the cards he was dealt with last year, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't think you're going to see that next year. I think we'll be completely different, and we have to be. But yeah, time will tell with that one. But yeah, I'm getting excited. I hate being that, as you know, but I am getting excited because it looks as if it's going to be a completely new look Rangers, which we are desperate for.
Yeah, Jamie, just looking at these guys we're signing, it just looks like energy, legs, the physical pace as well. It looks like everything you're looking for as a fan. The other one we've been linked with, we've been linked for quite a while, to be honest, is the boy for Bayern Munich, Kabadai, I think he's called.
Kabadai.
That's him there, yeah. So again, he can play in the top 3 positions as well. Obviously, you've not been on a while, Jamie. Obviously, we're saying Cortez as well. The Moroccan boy looks like he's coming in, and that obviously the boy we're talking about there for Bayern Munich looks like he could be coming in. Do you think that puts the end to Sima coming back to Rangers this season?
Yeah, I don't think. I think if Sima was coming back, you'd probably heard about it by now. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think Sima had that patch before he went to AFCON, didn't he? And he was really firing. He was really, really good. But I just think it's better to take a fresh approach this season, because there's going to be loads of outgoings. I don't know if we're going to come on to that later on.
Yeah.
But it is, as Ryan said, it's refreshing to see young, hungry guys with pace as well, because we all know the way that Clement likes to play. It's back to front as quick as you can do it. Basically, it's high tempo football. We didn't have the players or the legs to do that, and that you could see that coming towards the end of the season, end of March, start April. That's when you could really notice. So I think these younger boys will be fitter. We'll get a pre-season in as well. I mean, yeah, to back up what Ryan said, I really hope we counteract that with some experience, not bags of experience, but some experience. I don't want us to shop in the Championship, though. I think days of shopping in the Championship are over. We've done that. You know, it's a very Michael Beale thing to do. But it's refreshing. I think it's refreshing that the players we're getting linked with at the moment. The boy Cabral was on loan at Schalke. I've done a little bit of homework on him. He had a very good second half of the season at Schalke. I think that their fans were raving about him. So I think, again, it's another player that we're linked with. I don't know if he's maybe slightly in the Tillman mould, if it's going to be a loan signing, if it's going to be an actual outright signing. But no, it's exciting. So I think long may the links continue, and I think over the next month or so we're going to see more folk coming in the door.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest turnaround of players at Ibrox in years, Advocat time or whatever. And when that 9-0 team kind of broke up, it's going to be a big turnaround. Ryan, next subject. This will be a good one for you. Players out the door, which you'll be happy about. The ones that have been linked, obviously, Goldson and Tav have been linked for donkeys about going to Saudi Arabia. The ones that have kind of came to light recently of Rangers would possibly look, or they would look for any offers on Todd Cantwell. Another one I found, if we get this for this boy, I'll be shocked. Tom Lawrence, there was a figure of 5 million getting banded about for Tom Lawrence with a year left in his contract, which I cannot see. I do like Tom Lawrence, so he is one player that I would move on, but there's no chance we'll get 5 million. Players out the door, Ryan, this season. I know I've rhymed off a few there, but there's a lot of players there that we need to move on. I'm hoping Hadji maybe has a good Euros to punt him as well. Lammers, did we get rid of Dessers? There's a lot of guys, Scott Wrights, there's a lot of guys that we need to go off the books and get money in for before we start bringing players in.
Aye, it's going to be a busy July. There's no doubt about that. All of the above in terms of the players you're talking about, Ali. I don't want to single them out, and I don't want to slate them either. It's the time's over for that. But all of the above for me, if any of them left or all of them leave, I will lose zero sleep over that, Ali. It's Rangers are desperate for refreshment. They are desperate for it. Us as fans are starved of a new style. We watch Rangers week in, week out, home and away. We know exactly how Rangers are going to play. We know how it's Tavernier takes us up the pitch on the right-hand side. He's our out ball to swing it in deep. We know how we play, and it's done. It's over for me. We need to move on from that. If there are suitors out there, oh God, yeah, we could make a wee bit of money out of this. We could get some money back for. I don't want to say they're deadwood. I just think in terms of the Rangers career now that it's deadwood. I think it's the time's been over for a couple of seasons, and if Saudi comes calling for those two, thank you. The time will come and we'll say thank you to you, and we'll look back at their careers on this pod, and I'm sure we'll do a pod about them, but they move on, and that's it. And Rangers get new players in. Tom Lawrence, yeah, I'd let him go. He's disappointed me this season. My expectations were quite high of him. You won't get 5 million for him. That's crazy money. That's Twitter talk. If you got 1 million or 2 million for him, I'd be extremely happy with that. Scott Wright will find a club. I think he gets a hard time. Scott Wright, he always tries for Rangers. He's never ever shied away from me. Scott Wright, ability's not there to be where we want him to be, but he'll find a club. There is no doubt about that. And whether it's in Scotland or wherever, I wish him all the best. But I think we'll maybe get a few $100,000, maybe $500,000 for him. So there's definitely money to be made off these players, but Rangers will be busy in terms of getting these players out the door, because that's where we potentially will be able to spend money and bringing them in. And that's where maybe the first teamers, if people are looking at these young boys that we've signed as not being, I've seen somebody saying they're squad players. I think that's maybe harsh because we've not seen them yet. But because they're so young, then there's a shout saying that they might not be first team starters yet. I don't know. Contradict myself slightly, but you know what I'm saying. We just don't know what these players are. But in terms of first team players, we do need to sign 3 or 4 first teamers who are going to walk straight into that team and own their position. That will be highly determined on who we ship out. But long answer to your question is all of the above, please.
Yeah, Jamie, there's a lot of players. I mean, kind of starting for the back, just me rhyming off a few players here, and it'll be frightening when I go through them here. You've got McCrory, will be going. You look at the back line, you're looking at potentially Tav, Goldson, Ben Davies. So there's 3 there. Red fans always got a question mark over his head as well. You go in the middle of the park, you've got Hadji, Cifuentes that people forget about. You've got Kieran Dowell, you've got Sam Lammers, you've got Matondo, Dessers, what do you do with him? Scott Wright, we've said. I mean, I don't know how many players I rhymed off there, but it's a frightening amount of players that we're looking at getting rid of. And But we need to refresh this squad.
I mean, I think in a realistic sense, I honestly don't think that they're all gonna go. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a big turnover, and I think the turnover is going to be more obvious when it's big players, i.e. Tav and Goldson. I think just from what I've read and what I've heard on other fan media and things like that, I think it's only going one way for them. I think they're going to be out the door. Players like Scott Wright, I agree with Ryan. I do think he's a good squad player, but we don't need good squad players. We need guys that are coming in and challenging for shirts. It's like, it's kind of blind faith bringing Scott Wright on, and he started a few games last season. I just thought, why is he starting this game? So yeah, Hadji as well. As you say, you would be hoping he's going to have a really good Euros for Romania. I saw he was on the bench in the first game. He came on, I think, played not bad. But obviously, that's if he plays really well, that's popping maybe another million or so on top of his price tag. But as fans, just because we need to see refreshment of the squad. Also, it's a large squad too, so it really needs to be cut down. But the thing about it is, you've just got to have faith in Coppin and Clement to get rid of the players that they don't think are going to fit the system, and they don't think are fit enough to play the level and brand of football we want to play, which I agree with Ryan, is going to be completely different next season. The thing about it is, it might be a bedding in period, and I would err on the side of caution of telling other folk that it might not click straight away. We might have you never know, we might have our season where it's going to be painful, but as Rangers fans, if we can see a progression in the way in which we're playing, then I think they'll be afforded that time to do that. So let's just wait and see. But we know, and how often do we talk about scar tissue, boys? All the time. We know the players that generally fits into. Don't need to name them again. But if they go, it's a as Ryan said, it's a pat on the back, and we'll say you have delivered for us at times. You've under-delivered on the whole, in my opinion, especially this season, let us down big time. So we all know if there's certain players that start next season, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same old thing. But the way in which it's going in terms of the transfer policy at the moment, it's really it's looking like there's going to be a lot of folk leaving. I think, as Ryan said, there'll be a lot of activity probably July time after the Euros is finished and all that. We'll see a lot of comings and goings. So yeah, let's wait and see. But exciting. On the flip side, it'll be sad to see some players leave that, especially that 55 season, like they've done as a real turn. But it's time to go. It's time to move on, and the majority of fans know that now as well. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, no, you can't stand still. You need to move forward as a club. Yeah, Jamie made a good point. We've kind of discussed it in terms of next season. Just bringing in all these guys and letting all these guys go doesn't mean it's going to click all of a sudden and we're going to go on and win the treble next season. As much as I would like that to happen, we need to stick with it. I agree with Jamie. If we can see a style of play under Clement with these players he's bringing in. We'll stick with them, even if we do need to suffer a slight bit of pain. I mean, you do look across the other side when they brought in their manager at the time, and he obviously Postecoglou, sorry, and they didn't go off to a great start, but they could see what he was doing, and ultimately he went on and won. I think it was a treble he won that season. So we need to give him time, Ryan, because we can't be going, as I've said previous in this podcast, 10 games into the season, it's not going the way we want, and we've been a manager. We've got to back this guy going forward.
Yeah, he'll get the back, and there's no doubt about it, he'll get the back. And I've definitely gave him a wee bit of a hard time at the end of the season with certain press conferences he did or decisions he made. But he's playing with he's been playing with the cards he's dealt with. He's not brought players in that he wanted. He's not been given the luxury of millions of pounds to spend in the transfer window or get rid of players that you can't get rid of players in the middle of the season. So this is now Clement's reign starting for me this season as we come up to it. And he'll get the time, he'll get the back. And the reason the previous regime didn't get it, well, he got backing, but the reason he went so quickly is because, if you remember, I'm sorry to dig this up to everybody, I know everybody's trying to enjoy their Friday night, but we had no identity, Ali, under Michael Beale. People whisper. I remember people whispering about it, and if you remember rightly, I didn't want him in the door at the start.
Yeah.
But when people started saying there's no identity, I was like, I just stick with it. Like, I hated it because I thought, oh God, this is it. This is the start. People are right. There is no identity. We're all over the shop. We just don't have a system. There's no philosophy about the team. You could see it, and it was sending shivers through me when people were talking about it as early as when we were in Germany, as Hoffenheim and wherever else. The difference with, millions of pounds Advocaat spent, but I remember going to Advocaat's first game. It was Hearts away, and we get beat 2-1. But Rangers were good that day. Lots of good play, and I remember everybody walked. It was the strangest feeling as a Rangers fan. Always, I was only about 16, something like that. But a strange feeling walking away from Tynecast that day, thinking, do you know what? That this could be all right. There looks to be a style here. Players need to settle in. There wasn't a pure defeatist kind of feeling that we had at Kilmarnock last year. I stood with you and watched Kilmarnock at Edmonton House, Ali, and if you remember how I reacted that day, you know how I wanted the bullet, I wanted the gun fired that day.
Yeah.
So if we started, God forbid, in a poor foot, as long as we show something, as long as there's an identity there, and you can tell what Clement's trying to do, he'll get the backing. Rangers fans will be patient with him, but time will tell with it. It's hard to know what we're going to see yet, but I'm excited about it, Ali. I'm excited to see just a new Rangers. If we see the old guard leaving, which I'm saying with Jamie, I agree with, if the old guard leave, you're going to see a completely different Rangers next season, and I'm all for it. I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah, I think all the Rangers fans are. It's a freshness, because we've had a core team for the best part of God knows how many years. And ultimately, they've had some successes, but they've failed us most times when it's came to the crunch, and we've been crying out for this freshness. And it looks like we're getting it at the moment in terms of players we've shipped out. These young boys we're bringing in, there will be more players leaving and coming in the next couple of months as well, and it'll be interesting. And it'll be interesting where we get to see these players as well, what stadium we get to see them in. So that will be interesting. But before we kind of just finish for tonight, obviously Rangers will go to Holland and for the pre-season before they play Man United. They've got the Birmingham game. They've got Union Berlin as well, and I think they're going to be playing Ajax on the 13th as well. I don't know if it's been closed doors, but they will be playing Ajax over there in Holland too. But next Friday, Ryan, the fixtures come out in terms of who playing in the season. I always quite enjoy that because I can see I can plan my year basically around Rangers, which my missus doesn't like, but I can tell her exactly what big games are falling, when we will kind of know when the old firms are roundabout, but kind of exact dates, it's always good. But there's always a good game we play in the WhatsApp group. Obviously, we will be away from home the first game of the season, but we won't be back on until next Friday, obviously, and then the fixtures will be out. So, as a bit of fun, obviously the first game will be away from home. Who will Rangers be playing as the first game of the season, which will be the weekend of the 3rd and 4th of August?
Oh, will it be Aberdeen or will it be Kilmarnock? Let me have a think. I will go with, I'll go a bit different. I'll go Hearts away. I will say we'll be playing Hearts away on the first game of the season. And who was newly promoted?
Who came up from down there again? Dundee United.
Dundee United. Yeah, I'll have them. They'll play Dundee United, so it'll be them against Dundee United, and we'll play Hearts away. Which it doesn't faze me, Ali. It doesn't faze me. If we play Hearts away, then so be it. Like, go to Tynecastle and win. So it'll be a team full of players that have never been there before. No scar tissue, as Jamie says. So I'll be expecting 3 points, and that's all about
it. Yeah. Postecoglou, I think his first game was away at Hearts, and I think he could beat it.
He could beat it.
John Suter scored, actually. Jamie, what's your guess in terms of who we get in the random computer? Remember, it is random, this computer.
The SPL supercomputer. I've got a feeling about a trip to Pittodrie. The last time they played there was the 55 season, wasn't it? Kent scored 1-0. I think we're going to be going up there. First game of the season, which, you know what I mean. You've got to play all these games, but we'll wait and see. It's not the ideal start going away from home, is it, boys? But it needs to be done.
It's our own fault, Jamie.
Exactly. Well, the league flag could be getting unfurled, but let's hope and see that's happening. That's happening this season. But yeah, I've got a weird feeling about Pittodrie, possibly Tynecastle, but who knows? Wait and see.
Yeah, to be fair, I like a tasty one to start at the beginning of the season. I think it's a good one to go in with. I know we've had your Aberdeens and Kilmarnocks. I know we don't really start well beginning of the season, but I prefer one like that to get going.
Well, I think it shows you where you're going to be as well, doesn't it? And I think that was,
you want to be tested right
season,
away.
That season that Kent scored up there, you thought, oh, we are looking good, by the way. We are looking very good. So do you know what I mean? I think the harder the away game, and if you can get through it and you can see something. I mean, as Ryan said there, of the Advocaat era, like even if you go there and perform well and it's a 1-1 or a narrow defeat, it's the start of the season. But if you can see something in these players, it's got to be a positive.
There's a lot of folk in the comments going, Dundee on a muddy pitch or a waterlogged pitch.
I don't know if we're in position to talk about MD stadiums or pitches.
I know. A bit.
Leave that one to side. In fact, one of my pals, Clark, who played for Portsmouth, he's been playing out in Israel. He's just signed for Dundee today. I sent him. I'm a Rangers. He's actually a Rangers fan, by the way. Hot off the press. But I messaged him saying, I can't wait to give you abuse for Row K BF3 next season. But when that's going to be, we'll probably play Dundee in August and we'll be at Hampden or something like that. And I'll be sat at the back of the West Stand. So wait and see.
That'll be Jamie Bard for Ibrox after that. Then I'm going to go. I'm going to go Hibs away. Like I say, I'd like a nice tasty one to start.
Yeah.
But yeah, the computer will be firing the fixtures out. I think it's usually 9 o'clock on the Friday. We will find out exactly. It will be interesting in terms of where Rangers are playing, in terms of stadiums. Do they play more away games and stuff? Will they have to change the supercomputer? So we will find out. But yes, lads, that is us pretty much made the hour. Some negativity in there, some positivity. So a good mixture. But I'd like to thank everybody in the comments tonight for. I know you asked some questions, but we were too busy to answer a lot of them. But we did interact a wee bit there. But yes, last but not least, my two guests that have kindly come on tonight, Mr. Ryan Haymarch. Thank you much for your time, and enjoy your Friday night and probably a wee glass of wine.
Yes, I'm going to go downstairs with a steak and a glass of wine, mate. Just one. I'm kind of bummed out with the alcohol, but I'm at a 40th tomorrow night. It's my pal Kevin's 40th. So I'm away at his party tomorrow, and that's the last of the 40th until you turn 40, Ali. So I'll be strapping myself in for that, and I'll probably turn up at your party for half an hour as well. But well done tonight, mate.
Oh God, he's never going to let me lay that down at all.
No, he's remembered that. He's remembered that, hasn't he?
I know. There's a lot of birthdays in June because it's Jamie's your birthday in June as well.
Yeah, so Scotty's wee boy is the 28th, and then I'm the 29th as well, because I can't make the birthday party because I'm going through to Edinburgh with my missus that day. So I'll miss
Jamie,
out.
My birthday is the 25th of June. Scott's birthday is the 26th of June. And unfortunate for you, Jamie, I am also in Edinburgh on the same Saturday. I forgot to text you, but yeah.
Well, we'll need to meet up for a drink then. There we go.
Yeah, me and my missus are through there for the day.
Double birthday celebrations, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, through in Edinburgh. So it's a pre-one before we go through to Murrayfield. So I'll be fairly low key before the lads go through to Murrayfield. But yes,
exactly.
Yeah, thanks as I say, thanks to the two boys for calling tonight, and everyone in the comments. We will be back next Friday. I'm not sure in terms of the podders who will be on, but we will be back next Friday. As I said, the fixtures will be out, so we'll be discussing that. Hopefully some new Rangers signings, and also hopefully a place that we're going to play football as well at the beginning of the season. But yes, we have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will see you next Friday. Good night.